Hello, and welcome everyone to our strategy presentation recorded for CU Boulder in the summer of 2023. Our team members include myself, Antonio King, Colin Tinley, Jennifer Dogler, Nephi Nielsen, Miranda Oka, and Tasha Bolda. And today we will be presenting on the growth and transformation of Barnes & Noble. If any of you recall what it was like during your last visit to Barnes & Noble store, you'd probably describe it as a corporate bookstore with a Starbucks and lots of advertising to push random publishing content. If you were like me, you probably haven't stepped inside a Barnes & Noble store in over 10 years, or at least not since any book could be purchased instantly with a single click. And then after the fall of Borders in 2011, you likely assumed Barnes & Noble was next. Would you ever consider investing in this company knowing what the market is like today for publishing in department stores? Well, for this presentation, we intend to explore what's different about Barnes & Noble bookstores today, using the Blue Ocean analysis and evaluate whether or not they have a chance at a comeback. For today's agenda, we will provide a brief history of Barnes & Noble, then discuss the difference between the Blue Ocean versus the Red Ocean Company, and then dive into the analysis, going over the 4 actions framework, Blue Ocean Curve, and strategy canvas, and then finishing up with the business strategy insights, as well as what we believe to be the potential and profitability outlook for Barnes & Noble. Barnes & Noble was founded in 1886, and by year 2000 became one of the largest bookstore retailers of the 20th century. They operated like a large supermarket chain with consistent store layouts and relied heavily on massive publishing campaigns to sell product. However, once Amazon launched, revenues began to decline, and Barnes & Noble's could never really regain stable ground. In 2018, Elliott Management Corporation, a hedge fund manager, purchased Barnes & Noble for $683 million and appointed James Daunt as CEO. Their thought process was that as successful and convenient as online bookstores were, no one had yet figured out how to replicate the incidental discovery of content that consumers were accustomed to and appreciated about local bookstores. James Daunt was successful at making Waterstones bookstores profitable again in the UK with an approach that catered to local tastes, and this could be the angle that Barnes & Noble needed. The approach wouldn't be exactly the same, but James planned on focusing on 3 things. First, revitalizing the brand's in-store retail experience to reflect more of a local bookstore experience. Second, shifting away from central corporate decision-making and appointing the store general managers as the brand managers who could then control and sell inventory in accordance with local preferences. And lastly, leveraging and maintaining Barnes & Noble's positive reputation, because despite their decline in revenue, data shows that they still hold significant customer confidence and the power to alter customer preferences. However, the question still lingers on whether this will be enough to save the retail giant. Let's dive into what it means to be a red or blue ocean company.
A blue ocean strategy is when a company pursues differentiation and low cost to open a new market space and create new demand. Companies who follow this strategic approach choose to innovate in a way that creates value for customers and reduce costs. By focusing on the companies can break away from constraints of traditional competition and create their own unique paths to success. In making competition irrelevant, it eliminates the need for a company to outperform competitors. While the Blue Ocean strategy challenges traditional industry boundaries, it aims to reshape markets and industries by introducing innovative ideas. The analogy of a blue ocean perfectly illustrates the concept of uncharted market territory with unlimited potential. The strategy encourages companies to think and challenge industry norms and ultimately thrive in new and untapped market space. In contrast, the red ocean is all about competition. This represents all known industries in existence today where there are defined boundaries that are accepted by the companies within them. Think of major retail banks or the wine industry, where the industry has always been highly competitive and players within it have continued to compete in the same strategic manner. Competition stems from companies trying to outperform their rivals to grab a greater share of existing demand within the market, which differs from the blue ocean, where the market space is unknown and untainted by competition. Within the red ocean scenario, as the market space gets crowded, opportunities of profit and growth are reduced. To transition from a red ocean scenario to a blue ocean, the strategy must shift from a red ocean's view of trying to outcompete each other for limited demand. New avenues for growth should be explored by shifting their focus away from head-to-head competition in saturated markets. Instead, they should seek to introduce innovative value that opens up new market spaces and generates demand. Now Tasha will explain how Barnes & Noble generated value innovation.
Thanks, Jennifer. With the 4 actions framework, we will look at the ways that Barnes & Noble eliminated, raised, reduced, and created. Once Daunt took over, he eliminated fees to place books in high visibility locations, such as the entrance or the windows. In addition, he removed irrelevant items from within the store, like home decor, kitchen tools, and just left books remaining. During the pandemic, Barnes & Noble used that time to refurbish, update, and redecorate their store's interiors. In addition, their online business improved, seeing a 35% growth over its pre-pandemic levels. They also kept a keen eye on the customer demands. They increased their Japanese graphic novels section, which had gained traction in recent years, and paid close attention to the books that had been gaining popularity on TikTok. Next, Daunt reduced about half of their central staff, which ultimately allowed them to give up their expensive New York City office space. Likewise, they moved some of their stores into smaller spaces to minimize those costs. Finally, due to the reduction of their central staff, it allowed for decentralized ordering. Daunt had a theory that they should act less like chain stores and more like independent bookstores. He wanted the store managers to have the freedom to tailor their book selections to their local community. He also created a cozy environment from their updated stores to increase their customers' willingness to come into the stores. And lastly, physical storefronts allow for the discovery of books. It is much easier to stumble upon a new book at a Barnes & Noble store than it is to online. And this discovery is crucial for new authors trying to get their book out there. And with that, I will turn it over to Nephi.
Thank you, Tasha. The next step in our analysis is to verify that the inputs from our 4 actions framework strategically positions Barnes & Noble. We can evaluate Daunt's actions and ask, is this reaching beyond the existing demand, or is this focusing on an existing market space? Blue Ocean, as Jennifer said, is a simultaneous pursuit of differentiation and low cost, where one would identify non-customers, commonalities, unlock a mass of buyers, and break value. Red Ocean is outperforming rivals given the known rules that involves segments, positioning, and market value. Daunt acknowledges Amazon as an online retailer competitor and seeks to obtain that independent bookstore ambiance, making this an existing market, also known as a red ocean. Red ocean as in red penguin. In the red ocean landscape, Barnes & Noble seems to be navigating a middle path, aiming to capture a market segment that values physical and digital experience. Their challenge is clearly communicating their unique value proposition and ensuring they deliver on these expectations while managing their costs efficiently. So to perform this analysis, we focused on some industry factors, and those are price, breadth of selection, ability to discover, ambiance, ease of return and exchange of products, digital experience, and store experience. With our parameters in place, I will turn it over to Miranda to walk you through our strategy canvas and reveal insights from Barnes & Noble's strategic positioning between these 2 firms.
The strategy canvas shows Barnes & Noble sitting between competitors, in this case, Amazon and independent bookstores. We also see that Barnes & Noble's new positioning provides the biggest gaps between its largest competitor, Amazon, in the store experience and discovery categories, as they are trying to push customers to an experience-driven model, making each of their stores unique and tailored to the physical location, city, and culture. Also displayed is a gap in their digital experience compared to independent bookstores, showing they still have the ability to tailor to the digital shopper in addition to competing in store experience, placing their new strategy framework between these 2 existing spaces. In summary, Barnes & Noble's focus on their ability to lead their customer to the discovery of new stories and their unique and tailored store experience. Their divergence lies in their ability to sit between the white space in these areas when compared to Amazon and the independent bookstore sector. Lastly, as their compelling tagline is being worked through with their current strategy rollout, as we research the topic, we understand that they are leaning back into the core of their business and highlighting imagination, Comparing their approach to creative fields like music and writing, these fields are rooted in originality, not financial statements and branding deals, and ideally would expect their tagline to be rooted in these beliefs as well. From here, Colin will conclude our findings.
Thank you, Miranda. Now we arrive back at the ultimate question. Is Barnes & Noble, in fact, an attractive business? The answer is a resounding yes. Barnes & Noble has been able to create a red ocean and has had success since 2019, and somewhat surprisingly exhibited positive momentum coming out of COVID. Specifically, Barnes & Noble has been able to get into the white space, or the space that exists between competitors, such as Amazon and local bookstores. They've been able to do this by using an Amazon-like buying power, but delivering stores that look and feel more like local bookstores, such as a Tattered Cover in Colorado. Barnes & Noble has also focused on its core customer, which buys print books. 70% of all sales in 22 were print books. James Daunt has taken lessons learned from his time at Waterstones and has ran the same playbook to reduce costs and focus on driving value to customers. Post-COVID, Barnes & Noble has been able to grow sales by about 12% and has returned to opening stores after closing over 100 stores in a 15-year period. In what is one of the most important metrics for bookstores, Barnes & Noble has been able to lower its books return to publishers rate from a high of 70% to just 9% today. Overall, Barnes & Noble has had a miraculous turnaround to profitability in just 4 short years, all while prospering coming out of COVID. Barnes & Noble has been able to create a red ocean by focusing on 3 main tenets. First, Barnes & Noble has focused on disciplined selling and concentrated on delivering highly demanded print books instead of unnecessary secondary items such as batteries. Second, Barnes & Noble has successfully captured their target market by concentrating on print book lovers who enjoy accidentally stumbling upon a new read. Lastly, Barnes & Noble has been able to harness all of these changes to successfully create differentiation and deliver cost savings. Thank you so much for your time today.